Good afternoon and welcome to episode number 2 of Inside the FLX on Finger Lakes One TV. Today is Thursday, November 12th, and we are coming to you live from Finger Lakes One studio in downtown Seneca Falls. The subject of today's show is the proposed Lago Resort and Casino in Tyre, and we are very excited to have Tina Macdonald, a Tyre resident and Lago supporter, sitting down with us to discuss the project, its potential impact in the region as a whole. Tina, how are you?
Great, Josh. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Let's get right into it. You have been incredibly involved in the community over the last several years, and it's actually been pretty impressive from my point of view to see what you've been able to accomplish in the last year and a half. For those who don't know you, tell us a little bit about yourself.
I am from Interlaken. I went to South Seneca. I played basketball, softball, cross country there.
Mm-hmm.
I then went to Finger Lakes Community College. I played basketball there as well. I have my hotel resort restaurant management degree from there. I have been in Tyre for 7 years now with my husband and son. I recently was running for Tyre Town Council.
Yes.
And that was a huge, it was an amazing experience.
Definitely. So you've been in Tyre, and you've really sort of not only been championing the cause of the Lago Resort and Casino, but you've also, you have seen the other side too. And I say the other side because there has been this push to sort of make it appear as though there's a big divide in Tyre, as there is a 50-50 split for those who, support or are against. Talk to us a little bit about that. I know you have a very interesting point of view on that one.
Tyre's not really divided as it's portrayed in the news.
Yep.
It's really a small group, a handful of people
Mm-hmm.
that is against this.
Yep.
Tyre is about 1,000 people now. Seneca County's 34,000,
Mm-hmm.
and there's only 11 people that are against this, so it's not really divided in my opinion.
Yeah, I actually thought that was kind of interesting because today I took a ride out there, and just to sort of see, every now and then I like to go out there and see what it looks like. I don't live out there, so I don't see it every day. But the number of pro-Lago signs that I saw, all over, I went out the other way, basically going towards Auburn, and then came back down south, and it was amazing. The signs are everywhere. People really are for this project. I mean, do you think this is something that can sort of be swayed the other direction pretty easily, or this is a very vocal minority, right?
Absolutely. I don't believe it's going to be swayed the other way. There's too much potential for
Mm-hmm.
the town of Tyre, for Seneca County, as far as revenue, business,
Mm-hmm.
the growth. We need this project, and it's going to happen.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so you talk about business, and as someone who spent some time professionally out at the outlet mall for a long time, there is something to be said for what this can mean for Tyre, for Seneca County as a whole. Talk to us a little bit about what you think it's going to do for Seneca County, holistically speaking.
Seneca County used to have, say, Sylvania, the Willard Psych Center, the depot. Now there really isn't a lot of businesses that employ a lot of employees.
Mm-hmm.
This will create thousands of jobs. It will create other businesses to come in to employ thousands more people.
Mm-hmm.
This is a great opportunity. So much good will happen because of this project for the future. Lower taxes is a big issue.
Mm-hmm.
More revenue, increase the tax base
Mm-hmm.
for Seneca County.
Okay, so to that end, you know a little bit about the hospitality business, right? Talk to us a little bit about your experience and how you really are uniquely gifted, I guess would be the right word, with the perspective on what this really could mean for the area.
With having the hotel resort restaurant management degree, I've always worked in hotel restaurants throughout the Finger Lakes. I've been here my whole life. The wineries, all of them. And now we have the cheese trail. I mean, the wineries have grown in the past 10 years, and it's only going to continue to grow to support farmers who grow the grapes for the wineries, for the local artists, for the, local people to give them careers. I really do believe that this is the best location. We have the thruway. We're right in between Rochester, Syracuse. We have the great, Seneca, Cuga Lake. This is the best location.
Personally, I completely agree, and I think that's where a lot of people fall as far as the, those who do support the casino and support what will likely come after that. They're looking at it from a business brings more business perspective, and that's really that's probably one of the more important things to remember. That being said, interestingly enough, what do you think, they're saying roughly a 2-year timeline between when the license is issued and when, things will actually be up and running. So what do you think, supposing that it's up and running, 5 years after that? What does it look like in Tyre?
Oh, I'm so excited to think about what it's going to be in 5 years. As far as the infrastructure that Tyre needs, we need water. We need basic, affordable internet, something the town of Tyre doesn't have. We don't have Time Warner.
Yeah.
We need water, sewer. When Lago is built, other businesses will come in and realize how great our little Waterloo exit off the thruway can potentially be for other businesses. Gary Schlegel from McGee Diner, 100% supporter of this project. He is excited to see what's going to happen across the road from him, down the road from him. He wants Lago to bring the business, to help his business.
That is I think that's probably one of the funniest things, talking to people. There is this sort of, I want to call it a false image, set up that, this is bad for small business. Lago coming in would be bad for small businesses, but you go throughout the area, and whether it's McGee Diner or it's any other number of small businesses in Seneca County or even just around Seneca County, there is a lot of support on that front for this project. Wish list items. What would you like to see? What would you like to see in Tyre? If, perfect, all the stars aligned. The casino's out there, Tyre is growing. What would you like to see?
I know I'm not the only one who's going to agree with me on this. Target, Kohl's, Olive Garden, Applebee's, just simple luxuries that Canandaigua has, Victor has, Auburn has. We can have this too, right in our backyard.
Yeah, and actually I think it's kind of funny you say that. It's not as if we are, right next door to Canandaigua. That is not a 5-minute drive.
Right.
If you want to go to Target, you have to go to Victor or you have to go towards Syracuse, and you're talking about, a 40 to 45-minute commitment on the road before you get there. It seems like there is definitely an opportunity for this area to have more amenities like that. So, we've talked about a little bit what you think Tyre will look like. What do you think it means for expanding out from Tyre a little bit? What do you think going north towards Clyde? Do you think that will turn into sort of some people have said that road will completely transform. It'll look nothing like it does right now. It will literally be a mecca. What is you live out there, so what is your feeling towards that, going towards Clyde? What could that mean for them?
It will mean a lot for Clyde as far as bringing people to move to Clyde, to have them go to Clyde Savannah to increase the student base there. More houses means more people paying taxes, which means helps, the town of Clyde and Savannah. 414 is already it's busy.
Oh yeah.
What's a few more cars on it?
Yeah.
It will help the people of Clyde headed North Rose, Sodus.
Definitely. So let's talk a little bit what we think. You've talked about the wine tourism increasing. This will be good for Watkins Glen, the state parks we have in the area, everything like that. Especially for the state parks, they seem like every year there's a few news stories that'll come out, and it's well, we're kind of running low on funding for this, or it's not really looking like we thought it would. What do you think it would mean for the tourism specifically? For tourism specifically, what do you think that will mean for the area?
We can turn Tyre, put it on the map as a destination resort. People can come and go to Ithaca, spend the day in Ithaca, do Taganic, visit the Commons, and then come to the outlet mall, do the wineries, on the way back to Lago and get on the thruway. It will help everybody in the Finger Lakes region. Absolutely, hands down, will bring revenue. People that have never thought about coming to Tyre, when they come to the outlet mall, they spend money. So now they have another venue to spend money at.
So the notion that people are simply going to go to this casino, walk in, and then walk out broke and never step foot into another establishment in Seneca County, you're saying that is readily false, correct?
In my opinion, absolutely.
Okay. Yeah, that's that is one of the more ironic arguments. I feel like it's you go out to the outlet mall and you see the tour buses, literally tour buses from Canada, from New York City. They're making rounds out there and having more. I mean, they make 7 or 8 stops between New York City and Niagara Falls. There is plenty more to do in this area than just a lot. We're never going to be known solely for a casino. I mean, a casino is going to bring more, but it's not going to be the only thing. You talked about young people needing careers, and if, in your estimation, what does this do for, say, the college student like you were 10, 15 years ago? It's like, what does that mean for them as they look to graduate and then hopefully plant some roots here?
If you ask any of the college students, recent college grads or high school seniors in high school, everyone is ready to leave Seneca County. This will mean that they will have a place to stay, to work, to have a career, not just a job, a career at an establishment, to buy a house in Seneca County, because we will have internet and all the amenities, Target, Kohl's, without having to go to Rochester. We'll have entertainment, the concerts, right here. Plus, we have the lakes. I mean, it's gorgeous in the summertime. We're close to skiing in the wintertime. It's just, the location is just perfect. And Seneca County is doing very well as far as businesses, Bonnedet and Xylem, who hire local young people. But there's huge room for improvement for other companies to give us careers, not just jobs.
Yeah, that was, I have a column in the Finger Lakes Times, and that was one of the interesting things over the summer. I did a couple pieces on what Seneca County looks like now and what it looked like 30 years ago versus what it might look like 10, 15, 20 years from now. And it's one of those things where Sylvania in its prime employed over 2,000 people, and now you'll see an article in the newspaper, you'll see something online, and it'll say X company adds 8 or 10 jobs or 12 jobs, and it's celebrated. And that is great, it's awesome, but it's on such a small scale. At this point, there really is a need for something more dramatic, something a little more specific. And I understand a lot of people are a little bit hung up in that they want to see the return to, the Sylvania days, when Gould's was in its prime, the machine company in Seneca Falls. You want to see the manufacturing come back. But is this just, do you think that this is sort of, obviously technology aside, is this the future? Like service. We are a tourism destination, right? So this is the future, right?
Absolutely. 100% I agree with you. Our tourism is what we are and what we need to grow upon build on with all the wineries. And Bill Martin from Montezuma Winery, he is an absolutely wonderful person, inside and out, businessman, personal side. He has a great business, and his business could expand.
Yeah. And that's actually, that's worth pointing out too. A lot of the businesses that exist right now, the golf courses, everything, any kind of restaurants, you name it, they're excited about seeing more clientele. They aren't worried about what some people are portraying as the clientele that's going to be taken away. What do you think? Actually, this is a good time to point out. There has been a lot of concern regarding safety in Tyre after all of this follows through and happens. I've been saying that if you plan correctly, if you have the right plan, police force, everything else like that, if you're planning for the right things, you're going to be covered. You will be covered. Do you agree with that, or do you think this could, backfire in some way, shape, or form?
No, I agree. There's not going to be backfire. Wilmerite is experienced business company. This is not their first rodeo.
Yeah.
They have lots of experience. They have wonderful resources. Seneca County has been great as far as, helping, or we need to increase the road patrol. With the revenue that Lago will create, we will be able to hire more cops.
Yeah. So you recently ran for Tyre Town Council. Unsuccessfully, but you made a huge impact in terms of just getting your message out there on a non-traditional party line. Would you like to say anything at this point in terms of just, what the experience was like? It was obviously a positive experience. You've said that over and over again already, but, talk to us a little bit about what that was like from start to finish.
I was really nervous in the beginning because I have no political experience. I've never ran for office for anything, so I was jumping feet first. But with all of the supporters, the town of Tyre, Seneca County, I have met so many people that have helped me along the way. Seneca County Board of Elections was wonderful. Mike Davis from the labor union in Geneva has been wonderful. All of the supervisors that I have had questions, or I would run into them, they would be like, oh, did you do this? Or, just giving me moral support and say, keep it up. And, signs don't win elections. Knocking door to door wins election. I have met so many people in Tyre. I feel I pretty much know everybody there now, and I am so happy that I did do it, and this is not the end, it's just the beginning.
Okay, so you're going on the record right now saying your political career is far from over.
Absolutely.
Okay. There has been one thing that I've found a little bit interesting in terms of the discussion around Lago. The discussion about jobs and what kind of jobs are going to be present out there. You've been talking a lot about careers, and there are going to be plenty of people who can make a career in the area after this is all said and done. What's your opinion on those so-called menial jobs? And they have their place, right?
Absolutely. Lago has to pay 75% of the national average, which is significantly higher than most people are making now. And with the ability to unionize, that will allow for greater benefits, and the state rate construction jobs will, increase people's incomes here. There is entry-level jobs for, say, 16-year-olds. 16-year-olds need jobs, too.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
But there will be jobs where you will be able to start out and then turn it into a career, just like any business.
Yeah. I've always found that kind of interesting. It's like people will say, well, that job only pays minimum wage, or it only pays $10 or $11 an hour. But if you look around the area, really the rate of pay, and you might have a better idea at this, looking at some of the numbers you've put out there. The rate of pay isn't really that far from minimum wage with a lot of service-related jobs, or with a lot of just what they're calling menial jobs. So, more opportunity, any kind of opportunity, is better, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And some people that may not know that servers and bartenders, they're not making $10 an hour.
Mm-hmm.
The server wage, some of the servers are getting $5.25, and they depend on the tips.
Oh, yeah.
So when people say it's only a $10 an hour job, the servers are only making $5 an hour job. I mean, plus tips. But
yeah, it is one of those things, and I think the other thing that people aren't really accounting for on this front is the notion that you're looking at what are secondary jobs for a lot of people. If you're bartending a couple nights a week at, your local bar or restaurant, that's not your career, but it's something that for some families, and probably more families than anyone would like to realize around here, that could very well be the difference between, making it and not making it, with as many people living paycheck to paycheck as there are. Going forward now, because, election season's over. We're moving into a new year. Hopefully we'll have this decision for the license down pat and done by the end of the year. What would you say to people who live in Tyre, live in Seneca County, who have been watching things and maybe they're sitting on the sidelines right now? What would you say to sort of get them out, get them involved, and, push them along a little bit?
I have two things. The first one is get involved. Go to the local town board meetings. All the towns have meetings once a month. Every town has a website. It's posted on the website. Public hearing. You can go. You don't have to speak, but I encourage people to speak, to go, to listen, to hear it firsthand, versus reading about it the next day in the paper, where it might not be the complete story of what happened the night before at the town meeting. To go, to listen, versus hearsay. Being involved is a huge part of becoming a citizen, really being involved, so you know what is going on. All the supervisors are wonderful people. They're truthful. They're honest. Supervisor McGreevy, one of the honest people that I know. Bob Shipley is wonderful. Mike Reynolds, all of them. You can call any of them. They will answer your questions. People really need to speak their opinion.
Yeah, and I think that is really worth talking about, because I have the feeling that a lot of people will watch this, or they'll read something in the newspaper, or they'll see something online, and they'll say, well, so-and-so, or this group of people, or this town council made that decision, and they kind of feel closed off from it, right? They feel like they aren't really a part of the decision. But you have to remember, like, we had Greg Lazaro on here a couple weeks ago, and he really made a point to hammer home that it's all about representing the people that you were elected to represent. And like you said, there are several up there and in Seneca County as a whole that are doing that masterfully, right?
Absolutely.
So I hate to ask you this question, but it's one of the questions that I've been asking everybody, just to kind of get a pulse for where we think, things will go. Lago Resort and Casino doesn't happen. What happens after that? Is there, maybe we're talking about something that's like 1% or less chance of actually coming to fruition. What is the recourse, I guess, would be what do you think the town of Tyre or the community, or, communities around, what would the reaction be?
Looking at it economically, the town of Tyre would probably have to dissolve. The 2016 budget is not looking good right now. Tyre doesn't have the funds to sustain. So reality, Tyre might have to dissolve if Lago doesn't come in, or if some other business doesn't come in and step up to the plate. There's always Seneca Meadows right there. They're all, looking to expand. We're right there. I really don't even like talking or saying that we're not going to get Lago, because I have to believe that we are going to get it.
Since we have a couple extra minutes, what, just out of curiosity, while you were running, obviously Lago was the big discussion piece up there, but did you feel that people, that were turning out to vote were very concerned about what Seneca Meadows was doing, what their plans are long term, or do you feel like Lago kind of like, faded that out? And
Seneca Meadows is a huge topic as far as coming into Tyre. People are nervous that if we don't get Lago, that's what's going to happen. People want Lago versus a landfill or something else. The other issue that people are concerned with is the water quality, the infrastructure, water and sewer. So if we don't get Lago, what is going to happen?
Is that what does that situation look like out the water? You've talked about that a few times. You've brought that up a few times now. What is the severity, I guess, would be present day of the water situation?
We have lots of water.
Yeah.
It's the quality of water. It has lots of iron in it, calcium. We don't have, for example, fire hydrants. If there was a fire in Tyre, which there recently was, we don't have fire hydrants for the fire trucks to hook up to. We have to haul water in from the town of Seneca Falls, from Port Byron, Montezuma, Clyde, Savannah. So that's kind of a safety issue too, not having readily accessible water.
Yeah, that's definitely, that's one of the many issues now that are facing people out there. And, it's something that hopefully when, December comes around, hopefully we have a decision, right? That's what we're hoping.
Absolutely.
And then we can sort of move forward from there. Tina, I'd like to thank you for coming on. It's been great having you on and talking to you about all this. That's going to do it for us today on Inside the FLX. I'd like to thank everyone for tuning in and taking this opportunity to quickly let everyone know what we have coming up when we return after Thanksgiving. Our show on December 3rd is going to feature Dale Driscoll, and she's going to be talking about Brittany's Law and Violent Offenders Registry here in New York State. December 10th, we're going to be having Lee Bieber. He's the developer behind the Waterloo Revitalization in downtown. A lot of people have been noticing that everything went from 4 lanes down to 2 lanes. Maybe we can talk to him about that. And then on December 17th, the Partnership for Ontario County is going to be coming in to talk about the heroin epidemic in the region as a whole. At any rate, in the meantime, we'd like to wish everyone a happy and safe Thanksgiving, and also remind viewers to like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, or subscribe to our Finger Lakes One YouTube page to have the latest podcast delivered directly to your inbox.